Hello everybody, my name is Ray. Welcome to the Evangelical Dark Web. Today we'll be diving into some Chi-Com propaganda. Why is it that China wants to promote wokeness all across the globe, despite the fact that China is not a woke country? If you want to rank the most racist countries on the face of the planet, China is definitely top 5, and I don't even think it's remotely debatable. They are top 5. Probably number 1, if any nation really tops China, it might actually be Japan. But it's certainly not America, and, don't get it twisted. America is probably one of the least racist places on Earth. For legitimately one of the least racist countries on the face of the planet, comparably speaking. Yet, we are inundated with messaging that we are entirely a racist nation. So let's dive into the propaganda, courtesy of CGTN, that is the Chinese Global Television Network. And this is a little kids cartoon that they made.
Racism is passed down from generation to generation. What can you do as parents to break this pattern? How can you teach your kids about race and racism? Here is some practical advice. Talk about it. You can use examples from daily life and the news.
Mommy, that boy has brown skin.
That's right. Everybody has something called melanin in their skin, which makes us come in all different colors. But under the skin, we are all the same. Isn't it wonderful that the world has so many different kinds of people?
Again, China doesn't believe that. But they want to, this isn't wrong, but it's being set up to kind of make very incorrect arguments that we're about to see here.
It may be tempting to try to hide the news from kids, but it's better to tackle things head on.
There are things happening that are making us sad and angry. Unfortunately, some police made bad choices because of the color of someone's skin.
Again, George Floyd didn't die because he was black. Not saying he should have died, but obviously he shouldn't have died. But he didn't die because of racism. And that's kind of a myth that they want to propagate.
For children in elementary school, you can focus on fairness. It's an idea they can understand.
Some people don't like other people just because of the color of their skin. And it's not fair, because we're all the same underneath.
As
the way to solve that is called meritocracy, which, if you go down, I believe it was the Aristotle's and his, equation on justice, is meritocracy. And that's the classical view of justice. It's also the biblical view of justice, is meritocracy. You know what critical theory actually rejects is meritocracy. Because that's white supremacy.
Kids get older, you can add more details.
Because some people aren't fair, black people have gotten fewer opportunities than other people. So they have less money to buy food and take care of their needs. Black people also tend to get sick more often because they can't afford doctors or medicine. And black people are hurt by police officers at a higher rate than other people.
When kids link race with value judgments,
So, again, this is specifically targeting the United States right here. I know it's their global, and it's also their YouTube channel, which has over 2.5 million subs, but this video has under 10,000 views. Just to point that out. And it's ratioed, I think, because, it's communist propaganda.
Get angry and shut them down. Instead, probe to find out where these ideas are coming from.
I only like princesses who look like Ariel, and I don't like Moana's brown hair and skin. That's interesting.
Can we not just take a moment to laugh at that? Is any little girl saying that? Mine hasn't yet. I happen to think she likes Moana. More than me, that's for sure.
Why do you think that?
You can also show your kids how racist ideas hurt people.
You can't be Spider-Man. You are black.
It's rough, buddy. That's rough. Although, didn't they make a black Spider-Man? In one of the many Spider-Mans? Again, comic books have gone very much downhill.
Honey, how would you like it if that boy said you couldn't be Spider-Man because you have blonde hair? How would you feel?
Take a look at what your kids are watching and
That's right. No Hitler Youth Spider-Man.
reading. Show them movies and TV shows about heroes from other cultures. Malala Yousafzai, who fights for girls' education in Pakistan. Anti-apartheid fighter Nelson Mandela from South Africa. Native American warrior Crazy Horse. And Chinese martial arts hero Bruce Lee. The list goes.
China just had to throw Bruce Lee in there. Like, really? Really? Is he really a hero in China?
On. Unfortunately, most children's books and shows center around white characters, but some don't if you make an effort to look for them.
Now, one of the shows that was out when I was growing up was Proud Family, which was about a black family. Just saying, I watched shows of people of different cultures. I think I also remember Sagwa, which is, Chinese. But again, this is ridiculous. America's a majority white nation, or at least I think it still is. I didn't look at the latest census data, not that I care. But majority culture means that you're going to have depictions in television and media reflect that culture. Now, America is actually disproportionately more black in its media and depictions of culture than it actually is demographically speaking. Which, I'm not necessarily condemning or anything like that, but pay attention to that. I think if you have a more distorted view of the actual demographics in an area, you're going to be less informed on ethnic issues going on in the culture. You're not going to be very informed. Like, I imagine the people that think it's closer to 50, maybe 60-40, people that think it's 60-40 are probably very pro BLM. The people that don't realize that, hey, there are actually more Hispanics, I believe, than black Americans, probably are very pro BLM. And, it's kind of like how if you don't know where Afghanistan is on a map, you're probably very uninformed and probably have a very ignorant opinion on Afghanistan. That's the point that I'm trying to make. And they're trying to pass it off as if you don't see it, it's because there's racism. So you need to go and see it because you need to, view different people and have kind of like a lenses thing. To me, good storytelling is good storytelling. And that's what matters most.
Lead by example and add diversity to different parts of your life. Take part in activities likely to have a diverse group of people.
Okay, is China going to put up with those homos in the background? In China, unless you're a basketball star, if you're black in China, you will be heavily discriminated against. Unless you're a basketball star, because they love basketball in China. They love the NBA. And I don't know how they feel about gingers. I think the little girl in the background is a ginger. I don't know how Chinese people feel about gingers in China.
Hello.
Hi!
Remember, being not racist just keeps things the way they are now. By being anti-racist, you can help lead our children to a brighter future.
Oh, wait. That's what you should do when you see Chinese propaganda. So let's just call this what it is. Mao Zedong was many things, but he wasn't into the whole gay thing. He wasn't all about, just a racial agenda. Maybe a Chinese ethnic nationalism, but, what communist kind of wasn't back in the day. But he was hardcore into the Marxism, the whole classical Marxism thing, where it was mostly based on class and class systems and trying to turn the proletariat class against the elites. That's what communism and cultural and Marxism used to be, but now we have cultural Marxism because they realize that people won't do a whole lot as long as they can eat. If people are not starving, you're not going to get the revolution that you really desire. And China has since more so adopted let's placate our population with air conditioning and all these new modern amenities. And, you're not going to see a revolution in China anytime soon. Certainly not a military revolution against a massive police state that has placated its citizens by feeding their carnal desires. But and that's why in the rest of the world, in order to institute a police state, a Marxist-like system, you need to create a division, and that division will be based on cultural lines. And feminism was your test pilot, and then we got critical race theory following after that. And then you're going to see all this other stuff, like the homosexual agenda and stuff like that. That's how Marxism, cultural Marxism, works in the United States. And what this video is not that China is very invested in cultural Marxism for themselves. It's that they want to do a cultural artillery barrage on the Western culture. That is the goal of that video. It's a little artillery barrage on a cultural level. That's what this is. It's to soften our defenses, particularly by targeting children, so you can move in for a main assault. That's, the purpose of an artillery barrage in warfare. And that's what this is. It's a propaganda move that's meant to be an artillery barrage against our culture, specifically America. But I'm sure it applies to other Western nations, specifically those battling against critical race theory. The Chi-Coms are ruthless, and they are devastatingly effective. They're devastatingly effective. Like their military is very inexperienced when it comes to actually fighting wars. But at the rate that they're going, they won't have to fire a shot because America and all these other nations are already surrendering to them. And, we are reaping the consequences of this long train of decisions that our presidents have made. And it's going to cost us if we don't confront China. But first, in order to do that, we need to confront this ideology in our culture. The idea that there's, a difference between racism and not being a racist and then anti-racism, to say that, hey, not caring about someone's race isn't good enough. It's a religious fanaticism that they want to create, that you are anti-racist, that you are part of this cultural struggle. And the truth is, it wants you to support this victimhood and this cultural revolution that it wants to create. And no, if you're not a racist, you're not a racist. You don't have to be quote unquote anti-racist. Just don't be prejudiced on the basis of race or ethnicity. If you want to use more proper terms, ethnicity is a more proper term than race. So that's all I got to say about that for now. Just want to do a quick video on this subject. Beware of Chinese propaganda. That's all I got to say about that. Let me know what you think about what I think in the comments section. I'll catch you on the next one.